This LOS is described theories of the demand for and supply of money. The quantity theory of money. The quantity theory of money states that total spending is proportional to the quantity of money. So the quantity equation of exchange, we have M times V equals P times Y, where M equals the money supply times velocity of the circulation of money equals the average price level times real output, okay? And money neutrality is a situation in which an increase in the money supply, M, will not affect output Y or the velocity of money, but it'll affect the price level P. So this is kind of going back to like accounting assets equals liabilities plus equity. If you increase A, you're going to either increase A, L, or E, okay? So in this case here, money neutrality, that's the way that I like to think about it, is that if I increase M, but I don't affect V or Y, then obviously I have to have an increase in my P, okay? Motives for holding money. There's three motives for holding money. The first one, transaction-related motives. Transaction money balances are related to the need for liquidity for transactions and are positively related to GDP. Precautionary motives. Precautionary motive money balances provide a buffer for unexpected events. And again, as we've seen in another practice question, it is also related to GDP. And finally, number 3, speculative motives. Portfolio demand for money, in which money is held in anticipation that other assets will decline in value. So that's when, for example, the stock market is reaching 10 years highs. You do a little bit of rebalancing, you sell some of your stocks, you're keeping it in cash because you might be holding it in anticipation that the stocks will come back down in value, the assets will decline, and then you'll buy back in, okay? So speculative balances are lower when returns on other financial assets increase. The supply of money is assumed to be fixed, but any change in the supply will affect the price level. The supply curve is vertical. The nominal rate is the quantity of money. Hence, any changes in demand for money will affect price levels and nominal interest rates. Okay, we'll just take a minute to look at this graph, which is in the text, and it showing the supply and demand for money. Okay, so you can see on the y-axis we've got the nominal rate of interest, and on the x-axis we have the quantity of money. So as with most other markets, the supply of money and the demand to hold it will interact to produce an equilibrium price for money. In this market, the price of money is the nominal interest rate that can be earned by lending it to others, okay? So the vertical scale, again, represents the rate of interest. The horizontal scale plots the quantity of nominal money in the economy. The supply curve, MS, is vertical because we assume that there is a fixed nominal amount of money circulating at any one time. The demand curve, MD, is downward sloping because as interest rates rise, the speculative demand for money falls. The supply and demand for money are both satisfied at an equilibrium interest rate of I0. I0 is the rate of interest at which no excess money balances exist. To see why I0 is the equilibrium rate of interest where there are no excess money balances, consider the following. If the interest rate on bonds were I1 instead of I0, there would be an excess supply of money, M0 minus M1, okay? Economic agents would seek to buy bonds with their excess money balances, which would force the price of bonds up and the interest rates back down to I0. Similarly, if bonds offered a rate of interest I2, there would be an excess demand for money, M2 minus M0. Corporations and individuals would seek to sell bonds so that individuals could increase their money holdings, but in doing so, the price of bonds would fall and the interest rates offered on them would rise until it reached I0. Interest rates effectively adjust to bring the market into equilibrium. In this simple example, we have also assumed that the supply of money in bonds is fixed as economic agents readjust their holdings. In practice, this may or may not be true, but the dynamics of the adjustment process described here essentially still hold. This chart also reemphasizes the relationship between the supply of money and the aggregate price level, which we described on another slide previously. Suppose that the central bank increases the supply of money from M0 to M2, okay? So that the vertical supply, money supply, shifts to the right, okay? Make that a new MS. Sorry, that's not so straight. We can see what happens here is that the interest rate is going to decline because the increase in the supply of money makes it more plentiful and hence less valuable. Its price, the interest rate, falls as the price level rises, okay? So the increase in the money supply will increase inflation and it'll decrease the interest rates. So we'll just finish this LOS with two quick practice questions. The first one, according to the theory of money neutrality, money supply growth does not affect variables such as real output and employment in A, the long run, B, the short run, or C, the long and short run. Okay, I like this question because on a previous slide and we're reviewing, it's often what we do is we memorize the formula M times V equals P times Y. So money supply times velocity equals the average price level plus the real output. And then we talked about money neutrality as a situation in which an increase in the money supply, okay, will not affect output or the velocity of the money, but it'll affect the price level, okay? So this question was talking about money neutrality. The money supply growth rate does not affect variables such as real output, which is the Y. But we hadn't talked about the short run, the long run, or the short and long run. So that's why it's important to focus on the finer details. And it's A is correct. It's in the long run. So according to the theory of money neutrality, an increase in the money supply ultimately leads to an increase in the price level and leaves real variables unaffected in the long run. So there you go. It's talking about in the long run. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you get a question like this about the short run or the long run, you're not going to get it wrong, okay? And one last practice question to finish the LOS. Which of the following best describes a fundamental assumption when monetary policy is used to influence the economy? A, financial markets are efficient. B, money is not neutral in the short run. Or C, official rates do not affect exchange rates. Okay, nice question to finish on. So which of the following best describes a fundamental assumption when monetary policy is used to influence the economy? The correct answer is B, money is not neutral in the short run. So it is neutral in the long run, remember? So this is a great carry-on question from the last one. B is correct. If money were neutral in the short run, monetary policy would not be effective in influencing the economy. And that's the last slide for this LOS. Thank you.